House of Glory wrestling fans. I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. With Glory Comes Pride was one awesome show, and boy, that crowd was a sea of humanity. I was lucky to even get a seat at the time I walked in the building. But as the night went on, everybody in front of me was standing up. They all had their cell phones out, and I was like looking as they're like holding their cell phones up. I would look at their cell phones to see what's going on in the ring, because it wasn't worth standing up. And I'll tell you this: if I couldn't wouldn't have been able to find a seat, I probably would have walked out of the building and forgot about the show. And I don't know if it's because this was a Friday and most of the crowd had to work. Show didn't officially start till 8:15 p.m. Before the show, among the music they were playing was both of John Cena's themes, My Time Is Now, as well as Basic Thugonomics, and the D-Generation X theme was playing as well before the show began. And I don't know where they were coming. It was like a lot of heavy smoke blowing before the show right behind me. I don't know where that was all coming from, but thankfully that didn't happen throughout the matches and stuff. And also, there were people in the building vaping. That shit needs to stop. Something's got to be done about that. And I did notice when I arrived outside the building and got in line, I did see police cars out there. I guess they made sure that the building didn't end up over capacity. I mean, I just feel bad for those that were standing for the entire show. But we get on with the matches, and to my surprise, I didn't expect this match to open the show as unless I'm mistaken, making his House of Glory debut, a certain wrestler from Long Island, New York, known as Bear Bronson. Bear Bronson, as he challenged the main one, Zilla Fatu, for the Crown Jewel Championship. Bronson attacked before the bell even rang. They brawled out on the floor, and then they went up the ramp until they finally came back to the ring, and the match finally got underway officially. Zilla Fatu defeats Bear Bronson with the flying Samoan spike that Zilla's father, the late Umaga, was known for. Zilla Fatu defeats Bear Bronson to retain the House of Glory Crown Jewel Championship at 5 minutes, 8 seconds. You know, I'm still shocked these two went on first. They could have made us wait a little longer for this one. Next match, we see Zeta Steele, who I understand is not going to sign a new WWE ID prospect deal. She challenged Indy Hartwell for the Women's Championship. At one point, Zeta tried to bring the Women's Championship belt into play, but referee Stephen Dumeng had grabbed the belt from her, and they did the late Eddie Guerrero trick with the belt. Eventually, as Zeta's trying to tell Stephen that she did not use the belt, Indy hits the kill switch. Indy Hartwell defeats Zeta Steele to retain House of Glory's Women's Championship at 8 minutes, 12 seconds. So after the match, Zeta attacks Indy until Allie Ketch saved her. Allie took the microphone. She said she broke her leg like 200 some odd days ago, and now she's back and definitely wants to have a shot at that championship and do it the right way. Next match wasn't even announced for the show, as we saw Idris Jackson, the Dark Star, accompanied the ring by Dr. Hillary P. Wisdom, that bookworm, as Idris Jackson took on Raheem Royale. Jackson hit a superplex off the top rope, and he was just like a lackadays cover, and Raheem grabbed a hold of hooked Idris's arms like a crucifix pin and won the matchup. Raheem Royale defeats Idris Jackson, the Dark Star, at 7 minutes 14 seconds, but afterwards that bookworm Wisdom hits Raheem from behind with that book of his, and Idris attacked him and, I don't know, left him laying, seemingly. Okay, up next was one of the matches of the night, as we saw Mr. House of Glory himself, the Amazing Red, do battle with current TNA Wrestling X Division champion Leon Slater. During the match, out comes House of Glory's Cruiserweight champion Darren Richardson, who has been a thorn in Red's side for a number of months now. He's at ringside, and at one point I think he tripped Slater as he was bouncing off the ropes. Slater and Red are going out of the ring, and then they stop, and they both look at Richardson on the outside, and they both leave the ring and to corner him, and they both do a number on him. Eventually, Diamond Virago comes out, but there was somebody else's music playing. Eventually, Slater hit a Superstars Clash off the second rope, and then hit a 450 splash on a 450 splash. Leon Slater defeats Amazing Red at 16 minutes 6 seconds. After the match, Red attacks Richardson on the ramp, gives him a suplex, throws him into the ring, gives him 2 top rope double stomps. He's going for a third, but Diamond Virago pulls Richardson out of the ring. Next matchup, we see Always Ready Matt Cardona do battle with Killer Kross. Sorry, folks. Kross, well, actually, before the match got underway, after the introductions were made, Cardona hits Kross in the balls, and they go into a brawl. They go into the crowd, have a crowd brawl, and then they eventually come by where I'm sitting, and I notice people, they've got their phones out trying to record or take photos of the action, and some of the people that were like standing behind me, they were like falling down, almost ready to go through the knock over the chairs, and at one point I had to, like, get a hold of people, stop them from falling down before they ended up taking it back to the ring. And the funny thing is, they had yet to ring the bell, because Cardona hits Kross in the balls right after the intros were made. And what happened was, Cardona, he gets the microphone. At one point, he yells, "Shut the fuck up," to the referee. And then, and he sees Kross down on the mat. He says, "Why are you smiling?" And Kross says a joke for him. He says, "Knock, knock." Cardona says, "Who the fuck is there?" Kross says, "Ring the bell." And then the bell finally rings. That ring the match. Kross grabs Cardona, puts him in like an ankle lock, some kind of submission hold. And I kid you not, Killer Kross defeats Matt Cardona by submission at 4 seconds. I think I don't know if it was at that point I had gone to use the bathroom. Because the thing is, this show went straight through without intermission. But yeah, they did pretty, the brawl made it all worth it. Next was the tag title match as main event. Jay Lyon and ringleader Midas took on Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. I really didn't think too highly of this matchup because of everything that had gone on so far, especially for trying to, die down from a crowd brawl. But the Hardy Boys defeat main event when Jeff Hardy pinned Jay Lyon with a swanton bomb off the top rope at 13 minutes 16 seconds to become the new, well, actually, not just new, but for the second time, they are House of Glory Tag Team Champions. And then it was time for the second, what was billed as the other main event of the show, as Man Like DeReese challenged the root of all evil, Charles Mason, for the heavyweight championship. And those two came into the crowd and brawled to the point where they climbed up to that area right above where the men's bathroom is, and I think they both fell off. And I don't know if there was a table to break their fall, but I gotta give it to the men and women of this show. They really gave the fans more than their money's worth, especially for those who were stuck standing. I mean, people were even standing by that door, the front door. So much went on in this matchup. doors were brought in. Charles Mason bled. Doors were broken. It was like just so many moments, and you're thinking like, I mean, even I was starting to think, come on, end this match already. Everybody enjoyed themselves. One thing I'll say before going any further, some fans did leave after the Hardy Boys main event match, because I guess they wanted to see them. But a good part of the crowd was still there for this match with Doris and Mason. Eventually, Mason hits a tombstone pile driver off the second rope through a door set up on chairs, and Charles Mason defeats man like Doris to retain the House of Glory Heavyweight Championship at, I kid you not, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 5 seconds. I did notice in the crowd, Cheyenne Ortiz, who commentates for various indie wrestling promotions. Due to the sea of humanity in the crowd, I didn't get to see Erica and get a picture with her. Wow. I took, I didn't take any pictures, sorry. I mean, thank goodness, maybe it was a good thing I sat close to the door, because it was easy to, get to the men's bathroom when I had to use it, and also to head for the door when it was over. And the show ran past 11 p.m. After the show, I went to the back of the building. I forgot what street that is. And I saw my friends Randy and Roy. We talked for quite a bit. They managed to get pictures with Zilla Vatu, with Killer Cross, Leon Slater. Randy got a picture with Jason Solomon. Don't know if he's still the commissioner of the company. I know he was commentating the show. I noticed Bear Bronson leaving. Charles Mason called him leaving. Somebody mentioned it was him. Indy Hartwell, I believe we saw her leave. I can't remember if that was about it. Man, by the way, this is my first House of Glory show since Isolation back in April, and man, this show was so awesome on paper. I mean, this is pretty much, I guess, going to go down House of Glory, not only for yourselves, but even for the indie world that out of all the indie shows I go to, this is pretty much going to go down as a show of the year candidate. I thought about maybe trying to do my own awards. Indie show of the year, indie fed of the year, match of the year, indie wrestler of the year, who I've seen, but I don't know. I bet it might be a tall order for me. But House of Glory will be debuting in Long Island on Saturday, November 15th, as they present Super Clash. Already announced for that event. Yeah, already announced for that very show is Andrade, who once again is out of WWE, and he went back to AEW. And the only match they have announced so far is Shayna Baszler taking on Maki Ito, who was seen in AEW in the past. And Maki Ito, for those who have never seen her before, she's very good. And if that wasn't enough, they announced to the crowd they announced to the crowd they're going to be back at the NYC Arena, Club Amazura, in Queens, New York. Let me see. Hold on, folks. They announced to the crowd they announced to the crowd they'll be back in the NYC arena. I don't know if ring announcer David Adams mentioned the show title to the crowd, but House of Glory returns to Queens with Winter Warfare. That very event is taking place Friday, December 19th. And that is my birthday, folks. Nobody's been announced yet for that very show. But I'm sure, I think based on with the Hardy Boys, I guess they're going to be around. Probably the usual Charles Mason, Zilla Fatu. Well, you know what? I would like to see December 19th. I mean, since Amazing Red won the Matt Travis Memorial Rumble back at High Intensity, I'd like to see him go one-on, whether he cashes in or ends up a match announced by the time December 9th Winter Warfare takes place. I'd like to see that match, Red against Darren Richardson for the Cruiserweight Championship. Let me see. Wow. And I don't know what else I'd like to see for that event, but man, it was so good to be back in this place, and it was so chaotic with those matches going into the crowd and such, and we had bloodshed, we had doors broken, we had Matt Cardona taps out in 4 seconds. Basically, so much had gone down, but this show was just one of those shows that you knew you had to be there and you knew it couldn't fail. And even though I watched High Intensity from home back in August, I gotta say it, with Glory Comes Pride, blew High Intensity out of the water. And by the way, after the event was over, I noticed Brian Baez, aka Brian XL. You know, we hugged and all, and he said, "How you doing?" And I told him that December 19th is my birthday, and he says, "Oh, we got to get you a cake." Funny thing is, Brian, I don't know if you mostly, I'm sure it's you mostly handling the business side of things, whether it's just you alone or you and the Amazing Red who put this company together. I gotta say it, with Glory Comes Pride. I think that show title should be a yearly event. Whether you do it next October or not, I think that should be a show title. Whether you do it every year or not, bring it back from time to time. Wow. Be interesting what House of Glory brings come my birthday, December 19th, Winter Warfare. Wow. Funny thing. When I was with Randy and Roy outside by the back door after the show, I noticed ring announcer David Adams leaving. Of course, David does a very awesome job as a ring announcer. But I don't know, David, if we'll ever find out the name and who performs that theme music when we do the 2-minute countdown before House of Glory goes live on Triller TV. That HOG HOG. I'm dying to know who the name of it and who performs it. What else can I say about this event? Surprisingly, we didn't get an appearance by Shotzi. I don't know what they're building up for her to fight Indy Hartwell at one of these shows. Man, it is so much. Whew. Well, actually, I'll say this as far as Winter Warfare. It'd be nice if I had a lady to go with me for that show. A man can dream. Boy, what else can I say about this event that has not been said already? House of Glory, House of Glory. I still say something's got to be done about the vaping. That shit needs to, I mean, can't smoke. We know we can't smoke. Nobody can smoke cigarettes in there. This is ridiculous. I don't want to breathe that shit in. Oh, oh. Too bad the House of Glory can't find like an even bigger place to run shows. I mean, I know in the past they ran at the Elm Court Center on Northern Boulevard, but the problem with that place is that there's no train stations near there. I know they ran at La Boom, also on Northern Boulevard. That's a nice sized place, but you know, I don't know how often they do wrestling in that building, not just House of Glory. Oh, my eyes. Glory, 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 glory. What else could I say about this event? Blah, 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 blah. Damn. What else could I say? Wow. Well, and kudos to Roy for driving me home. Otherwise, I would have to probably wait a while for a train and also probably encounter homeless people begging for money. But, you know, I mean, a show like I saw tonight, man. So it makes me glad I'm still a wrestling fan, still going to the indies and seeing so much great men and women putting in the work and stuff. Man, oh man. Well, I guess I'll end it. HOG, 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 HOG.